All right, let's go ahead and get started. So today, Noel Rodriguez from the GoTab team will be interviewing, doing a little Q&A session with Samantha. Go ahead and take the floor, Noel.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. All right. Welcome all, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Noel Rodriguez, and I'm a customer success manager here at GoTab. Today is our second webinar in a series of webinars discussing how to boost revenue in this limited labor environment. As capacity restrictions are lifted and vaccinations increase, people are feeling more and more comfortable going out, while operators are having difficulty finding labor to keep up with the pace. Today, I'm joined by one of our operators, Samantha Schutte. She is the Director of Operations for Caboose Brewing Co. in Virginia. We've invited her here today to talk about how Caboose has found creative solutions to drive revenue with limited staff using GoTab. And with that, Samantha, why don't we start by you telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Yep. Thanks, Noel. Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Schutte. As he said, I'm the Director of Operations for Caboose Brewing Company. We have two locations in Northern Virginia, but I've worked at restaurants for many, many years, took a little break to go into the political world, but craft beer brought me back. I joined the Caboose team in June, right as things were opening back up last summer, and been with the team as we've gone through this whole crazy year. So
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I really we're just thinking about like different ways we can help our operators. So I'm glad that you took the time to talk with us. All right. So first things first, this is a Q&A, so I'm just gonna start by asking you some questions about Caboose, and then I will open the floor up after this to allow others to join and ask questions as well. So first question, can you tell us a little bit about Caboose Brewing and what made you change to GoTab?
yeah, so Caboose was actually using GoTab prior to COVID in a fairly small capacity. As COVID hit and everyone was going to contactless ordering, we were kind of able to grow with GoTab and use lots and lots of the new features to innovate and improve our service, and do a lot better during the various stages of shutdown than we could have, having to use a full staff and operate as we were before. So yeah, we were using it outside at one location and as a secondary to standing in a long line, but quickly changed that to make it our primary ordering method, and we're able to do quite a lot of volume very quickly with that. So
All right, awesome. And how have you found yourself and your staff? How have you adapted to using GoTab?
yeah, I think one of the biggest things we've done as a management team and with our staff is train people in more than one role. So instead of just being a server or just being a bartender or just being a host, pretty much everyone is trained to do all of the different functions that we need them to. So they can quickly jump from one role to another and make scheduling a lot easier from our perspective, and makes it a lot easier to run a successful business when we aren't swimming in in staff right now. So
That's awesome, because it's like my next question was going to be basically, it's like, oh, how are you operating with your reduced staff? Like, what are you doing to help Caboose out?
yeah, we've, in addition to the cross training, I think without having paper menus, to rely on paper menus being constantly out of date, our staff has kind of been able to really grow their product knowledge so that when they are talking to our guests, um, they can talk them through the GoTab ordering process, but also talk them through our beer and our food, and really kind of build a closer connection to it as well.
Awesome. That you made the changes already. Like, what other operational changes have you made while implementing GoTab at Caboose, like internally? That is.
One of the biggest things that I was a little bit afraid of, and I know most of our team was, we've all were used to pouring beer off of tickets and just operating off of paper. So I was convinced, and aggressively convinced, I would say, to give KDS a shot. And it took a matter of days for our staff to get used to it and say, wow, this is amazing. We no longer have 6-foot-long strands of tickets printing out within a matter of seconds that are falling behind our kegerator, and we're losing actual orders. We're able to batch orders and run things more efficiently to all the different areas of our restaurants. One of our locations has 3 floors, a couple of patios, and we've opened up a huge seating area in our back lot. So there's a lot of ground to cover and a lot of places where things are going. So batching those orders and being able to take advantage of what technology can do for us, instead of forcing someone to stand there and sort through all those tickets. Oh, cocktails are going over here, beer's going over here, someone's expoing, and it was a mess. So banking that change was something I was hesitant of, for sure, but I'm glad I did it and would do it again. We're also able to change how we run based on business. So if we're slower, we have one person making coffee drinks as well as pouring beer. We have everything come to one screen. If we're busy, we have a couple other screens set up, and we can pull different things to different screens and divide up the work in a much better way.
Awesome. I know it's a little difficult, like, getting the hang of the KDS and like what capabilities it has. And I'm glad it's working out for you and they finally got you on board with it. All right. So, I mean, that's considered a creative solution. And for me, like, I find, I often find myself trying to find creative solutions for my operators specifically. So, I mean, here's the last question I'm just going to ask you. So maybe you can help me. Can you tell me about like any unique promotions, other techniques like marketing that you've implemented with GoTab? Like, I always constantly tell my operators, like, hey, you can slap a QR anywhere and you can generate sales. What have you done for Caboose?
Yeah, we've definitely used the QR codes and GoTab in general in a lot of unique ways, sometimes a little weird, but one of the things that's been really successful for us is giving some of our neighboring businesses their own QR codes so that we can either build a discount into it if we want. We can just have them order to their location and we'll run it right next door. It's allowed us to build a better relationship with our neighbors and generate business as well. But with customers, on the bigger scale, I think, we've been able to sell fire pit reservations, cornhole reservations, tables for our version of a beer festival. We've sold beer clubs and subscriptions. We've segmented our customers into different groups. If you're a member of this beer club, you're scanning this QR code to get this discount every time you're here. And once that initial scan is done, there's no more work on our part or the customer's part, and everything automatically applies. So I think that's one of the bigger things. We've used order rules a little bit to set up some unique promotions. Over the winter, I think one of our most popular ones was what we called Crappy Hour. When the temperature would drop below 50 degrees outside, we would offer happy hour pricing to our guests who did still choose to sit outside. Funny name, but also easy to execute because we were able to just flip it on and off as the weather changed. So
That's interesting because most locations don't think about coming up with a solution as far as that. Like, hey, it's bad weather. Maybe we should just turn GoTab into like a offer a sale and bring customers in. Hey, on a snow day, come in and have your beer at a discounted price. So yeah, that's amazing. Like, I'm also thinking about like how are you planning ahead for like the warmer weather? Are you thinking about like catered events at Caboose? Like what other things you think are going to drive sales? Like, I think about big events at your property. I've been there before and I love your beer. So you have the space to host big events. Like what is the future involved with you as far as GoTab goes? Like, do you think QR ordering, do you see a lot of possibility with it? Like, what do you see?
absolutely. I think in terms of events we've already hosted, I briefly mentioned our festival. We sold private tables and had breweries go around to do private tastings, but people could stay put at their socially distanced tables, order food and extra drink as they wanted. It's the same way they ordered their ticket to the event. But in terms of bigger events and larger reservations and all of that coming back, we're able to offer a more flexible event to our guests instead of requiring, oh, you need to purchase from a catering menu and have this set up and all these fees and minimums ahead of time. We're able to just give them the option of controlling their own event with GoTab. We've had a group that requested a special cocktail for the birthday girl, and they wanted it only for their group. So with GoTab, we can create a special menu only visible for that party and accommodate them and make them feel special without really disrupting any operations for the rest of our staff.
That's awesome. Like, I think about like all you're still generating sales, you have high volume, but you still have you're offering that customer service, the experience. You are successful at doing this, and I bring all that over to my other operators as well. So we all do. We take you as an example, and we take ideas off of the main location, the parent location, which is Caboose, and just spread it across. So Samantha, we really do appreciate you being here. So right now, definitely, I just want to open up the floor since we're a little pressed for time. So let's open up the floor to some questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to answer any other questions.
Awesome. All right, so let's open it up. Again, everybody, when they first joined this meeting, you're all on mute. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, feel free to use the chat function in Zoom or raise your hand so that we can unmute you. Oh, we have one from Sarah. She's saying, hey, Sam, thanks for being here. What's your personal favorite feature of GoTab?
Ooh, I think just being able to instantaneously update everything, no matter where I am. If I'm at one location and I decide that we're going to change something at the other, I can do it from my phone in a matter of seconds, and it's live for the guests that moment. I just like the flexibility that it offers as well, in terms of how your menu shows up. If you want it to look almost like it's a paper menu, or if you want pictures and videos and links, you can make it fit your own restaurant or your own business however you want. So we use very different features at both locations. And I think that's just the best part, is you can use what works for you, whether it's just the QR code ordering or offering full service as well, and having people go up to a table and use the point of sale functionality. It's just incredibly flexible and moldable to what you want.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree personally that if you think outside the box, and as operators are allowed to like give us feedback. We help you out, help you through the whole process, and like we'll try to build out any request. I love the flexibility of what GoTab brings to many locations, and as long as you work with us, we are able to help you succeed.
Yep, I love bugging GoTab for new features.
Yo, I'm glad that you started using KDS. That's the first step, is accepting. All right. Do we have any other questions? I don't think we have any other ones. Oh, I see one pop in. Patricia actually asked you one. I see one here. Basically, she asked, how long did it take to make the transition from printers to KDS? So, I mean, you answered part of it, but.
As long as it took me to get tablet arms installed, basically. It's instantaneous. I did it in a matter of minutes. And I can always switch back if something happens and like we have a manager freak out, we can switch back, but it's a matter of minutes.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other questions? Well, I don't see any other ones pop up, so I think we could say that, Samantha, thank you for being here with us. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know it's very busy. I know you're at home, but we appreciate your feedback. So give us everything you got every day, and then we'll build from there. So on that note, I'll leave it to our moderator, Ashley. Ashley, you want to take us home?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks again, Sam, for joining us. Again, we host these quick 15-minute webinars quite frequently. We try to do once a month. So stay tuned with us. We often post announcements, or we will post an announcement before the next one, so you guys can see the link and times there. Thank you again, and we hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Samantha. All right.
Bye-bye.